January 5th on this day, in 1477 the Battle of Nancy took place, where the Swiss Confederacy, led by René II, decisively defeated the Duchy of Burgundy. Over 7,000 people were killed, including Charles the Bold, Duke of Burgundy. In 1649, Francesco Cavalli's opera Giasone premiered in Venice. It became the most popular opera of the 17th century. In 1757, Robert François d'Amiens made an unsuccessful attempt to assassinate King Louis XV of France. In 1779, Stephen Decatur was born. He became an American naval hero, recognized for his actions against the Barbary pirates and during the War of 1812. In 1815, Federalists from all over New England gathered for the Hartford Convention, expressing their frustration over the War of 1812 and demanding significant changes to the United States Constitution. In 1861, the merchant vessel Star of the West set sail from New York to Fort Sumter, carrying supplies and 250 troops in response to a rebel attack. In 1863, Konstantin Stanislavski was born. He became a renowned Russian actor and director, developing the highly influential Stanislavski method of acting. In 1876, Konrad Adenauer was born. He would later serve as the first chancellor of post-World War II West Germany. In 1914, Henry Ford astonished the world by announcing that his workers' minimum wage would be increased to $5 per day, while also sharing $10 million of the previous year's profits. He also reduced the hours of the workday, following the success of the Model T automobile. In 1919, the German Workers' Party was formed in Munich by Anton Drexler. This group later became known as the National Socialist German Workers' Party, or Nazi Party. In 1919, British ships shelled the Bolshevik headquarters in Riga. In 1920, Republican women demanded equal representation at the Republican National Convention scheduled for June. In 1925, Nellie Tayloe Ross of Wyoming was sworn in, becoming the first female governor in the history of the United States. In 1928, Walter Mondale was born. He went on to become the 42nd Vice President of the United States, a Democratic presidential nominee in 1984, and later served as ambassador to Japan. In 1930, Mao Zedong wrote the essay, "A Single Spark Can Start a Prairie Fire," in which he criticized party cadres for failing to establish rural revolutionary base areas. In 1931, American dancer and choreographer Alvin Ailey Jr. was born in Rogers, Texas. He would become renowned for his contributions to modern dance. In 1932, Umberto Eco was born. He was an Italian novelist best known for his book The Name of the Rose. In 1938, Juan Carlos I was born. He would later become King of Spain. In 1942, United States and Filipino troops completed their withdrawal to a new defensive line along the base of the Bataan Peninsula. In 1947, Great Britain nationalized its coal mines, marking a major shift in the country's approach to industry and labor. In 1949, United States President Harry Truman labeled his administration as the Fair Deal, outlining a series of domestic policy initiatives. In 1951, United Nations forces abandoned Incheon, South Korea, as advancing Chinese troops threatened the area. Incheon was previously the site of General Douglas MacArthur's famous amphibious landing. In 1952, British Prime Minister Winston Churchill arrived in Washington, D.C., to hold talks with President Harry Truman. In 1968, United States forces in Vietnam began Operation Niagara I to locate enemy units around the Marine base at Khe Sanh. In 1979, Ohio officials approved an out-of-court settlement of $675,000 to the victims and families affected by the 1970 shootings at Kent State University. 4 students were killed and 9 wounded by National Guard troops. In 1982, a federal judge struck down a state law requiring that classrooms give balanced treatment to evolution and creationism. In 1991, the South Ossetia War began when Georgian forces entered Tskhinvali, the capital of South Ossetia, Georgia. In 1993, Brian Lara scored his first Test cricket century, making 277 runs for the West Indies against Australia in a drawn third Test at the Sydney Cricket Ground. In 1998, Daniel Arap Moi was sworn in as President of Kenya for his 5th consecutive term. In 2014, Eusebio, widely regarded as one of the greatest Portuguese football players of all time, died in Lisbon.
Subscribe so you don't miss tomorrow's events.